Welcome to this week's edition of the Gridiron, sponsored by Patriot Chevrolet. I'm your host, John Brown, with the head coach, Chad Brewbaker. Springford got back on the winning track, defeating Norristown 42-3. Coach had to be happy to get back on the winning track, like we talked about there, and really have to be happy the way Jamal responded for you in a big opportunity, got the ground game going for you.
Well, we had a lot of guys respond, quite honestly. You know, we had some things to overcome after last week, obviously the big one being Matt at quarterback. But we also had some internal adversity as well, like knowing who would be available on Friday night.
Yep.
And some guys came a little late to dinner, which, you know, is not
Yeah, no school
okay.
Friday. They struggled with the idea of no school.
That is correct. So, you know, at the beginning of the game, the first quarter, on both sides of the ball, we were down a few dudes. And I told them after the game, like, guys, that's how we wanted it to work. Meaning, like, you understand, like, you need to be accountable to your teammates, being on time. You need to be doing your schoolwork. You need to be doing all the little things that add up and be accountable to your teammates. And, you know, as a coach, like, I was hoping that's kind of how it would go, where the first quarter is not how we want it really to be.
Yeah, it was
going.
0-0 at the end of the first quarter, I want to say, too.
Yeah, and so it kind of worked out that way. Now, that as a coach, that you got to bite your tongue.
Yeah.
And we did that. So that was a very good Norristown team. That was probably the best Norristown team that I've seen since they joined the pack.
I was really impressed with their quarterback. Made a lot of really good throws. Now,
and the wide receivers.
Had to force a little bit things as the game went on, but he made some really good decisions early in the game too.
He did, and they have good wide receivers, and they're going to give people some problems.
Yeah.
Coach Milligan and I had a long conversation before the game, and just talking about some of the things like we talk about how it is coaching in 2024 and whatnot. And so they've done a few things to help him. He's finally in the high school after all this time.
So he's around the kids a little bit.
So he's around the kids a little bit more. And that makes, for people out there that don't understand, like, you've got to be in the building. Like,
Yeah.
I would never take a teaching job and coaching job where I wasn't in the building, because it's just, people are holding you accountable for how your kids are behaving, and you have no access to them for that time.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, like I was saying, Norristown is they were well coached.
Yeah,
on Friday night.
I was impressed with Norristown. There were a lot of penalties on both sides of the game. Let's get back Let's get back to the idea though. So the quarterback was the thing. We went with Anthony early, and a little Wildcat package there, and then we had a plethora of sophomores, and it seemed like you kind of settled in on Yoder was your guy the rest of the game. And as the game, little early, maybe jitters, but as the game went on, he kind of settled into the position a little bit.
Yeah, ball fell out of his hands when he was attempting to throw early, and then we were still struggling a little bit, and he made one throw, and all of a sudden, like, you could see, okay,
I can do this.
Yeah, I can do this, and that's what we need to do. Obviously, we've pulled back on a lot of the things we were doing, focus a little bit more on the running back game in terms of getting the running back the ball. Like, sometimes people perceive that we're not giving the running back the ball, but he's getting other touches, and also we're running RPOs on certain things. So, like, we're getting a man advantage by using the running back. Like, if the defender stayed wide, we would give the running back the ball, but the defender closes, and then we pull it and throw. So there always have been plays called for Jamal. We kind of pulled back a little bit and said, we're giving the ball. We're giving the ball.
That's what I was going to lead to. Like, you talk about when you have Zollage as your quarterback, you kind of maybe trust to make the right decisions. Now you're saying, let's get rid of it. We're giving the ball. And
well, not rid of it, but we're gonna pull back and then continue to implement. Yeah.
And I like that idea, because once again here, arguably the best running back in the league. Go let him get out there and get some yards for you a little bit. And I was impressed also too. There was a couple plays where it was like a no gain in one game. He still went back to it, that sort of thing, and you weren't afraid to say, listen, we're going to make this play right. We're going to be successful here.
Yeah, I was a little irritated with our offensive line in our zone game, but we did pretty well in, like, our double team downhill game, like off tackle, traditional eye stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Jamal has been I agree with you on what you just said, but, Jamal early, he hurt himself a little bit in the opening game. We didn't really have him game 2 at all. he wasn't 100% going in. He's 100% now, and that makes all the difference. We're using Braden Welsh, Declan Finney, and also Jacob McDowell at fullback. We haven't run with a fullback as many times as we did on Friday night in a long time. But, that's part of coaching. Like, all right, here's the guys that are available. What do these guys do best? All right, this is what we're going to try to do. So
I also thought it was a time where you kind of saw some momentum, and you were not playing super fast, but the pace was good. You were running plays maybe with 20 seconds left on the play clock. It's almost like a read of the game. How much of that play clock do we want to use? And I'm sure that's also part of your strategy moving forward in the year. Okay, do we want to slow the game down? Do we want to speed the game up? There has to be some of that a little bit too.
We mixed it up. I think early in the second half, there was a situation where we called 2 plays in a row and said go. But for the most part, we kind of slowed it down a little bit. We're subbing a little bit more than we have as well, getting out of 21 personnel and getting into 11 or 10. Do you know what I'm talking about there?
Running backs, tight ends. No. Running backs and tight ends. I got the idea.
No, but I'll
help
her out.
Teach them, not me.
I don't know what is 21 personnel?
2 running backs, 1 tight end.
Very good.
Yeah, kudos to me.
So 12 would be 1 running back, 2 tight ends. And
right? I like that format. You guys too. I like that.
Our favorite is 11 personnel, but we've done a lot of 12 personnel because we like Declan Finney and Ryan Kirchner. They can do different things, and we keep them in. Declan can line up at tight end. He can line up in the slot. He can line up at fullback. He can line up wide. So that gives you, more things that you can do and without subbing people.
Good stuff. All right, Coach, let's take a look at the offensive highlights from Springford, Norristown.
Offensive highlights are sponsored by JC Auto Service.
Okay, so this is our first touchdown, and it's a little bootleg action, and the cornerback fell down. And it was really good that he did. I think that's where Trent intended to go anyway, but you'll see that Brady Welsh is covered out in a flat, and Ryan Kirchner is covered deep, and then Blake Turner gets open for the touchdown. Really nice job. Good fake there. You see the line.
And he's got time to set his feet
back
there
the other way. Great job by Lynn Bellard on the corner, sealing that. This is probably the trickeration
play.
This is probably the slowest gadget play in the history of mankind. I talk to our kids guys, if we're going this slowly, it doesn't look good.
But the cornerback looked like he bit.
But you got to sell that you're actually doing something, not just jogging in place.
Kudos to defense. That came right after a turnover too for you, Coach.
Here's Jamal, and this is another downhill play. Jamal gets into the secondary. Coach Brumfield gave him a hard time for getting caught there, but really nice job by, you'll see Declan Finney come up. Now, we want him to continue moving his feet.
And you're moving, the offensive line's moving that defensive line back. They're getting hats on hats, right?
They were, yep. And you'll see it here downhill. They did a good job.
74.
Lynn Bellard again, really, and A.J. Moyer getting out in front. Lynn Bellard made his defender a little salty, but we'll take that. This was, we had really run a lot of running plays in a row, and then we got them with play action here.
Yep.
Kids did a nice job. Ryan Kirchner up the seam for a touchdown.
Linebackers looking in the backfield.
Yeah. You'll see
Throws
right
it in between
there.
the linebacker and safety.
They can't recover. They committed a little too much and couldn't recover. This is Braden Hinkle. Braden Hinkle scored a touchdown. Braden Hinkle's someone we're bringing. He's the one that caught the trickeration play, as you call it. But Braden is coming on. He's still getting familiar with the offense.
Almost got him there. Watch the line monster.
Yeah, it did. He's becoming more and more familiar with the offense. He still struggles a little bit at times, but he's getting more and more familiar, and we want to use him in more areas. This is goal line play. We're just running ISO straight ahead. You'll see from the end zone here, Braden gets a block there, as does Brady Welsh.
Okay. Coach, good stuff right there. Like I said, run. And then when they get up there, hit them with that pass, that sort of thing. I always, once again, in your early years, I thought you did a phenomenal job of everybody's thinking run, you hit them with the pass. Everybody's thinking pass, you hit them with. I thought that was
just the early years, huh?
The early years, I thought you crushed.
This is a veiled criticism.
No. Listen, and I was on Friday. I'm like, look, here they go. They're going to hit them with the pass right here, and it was once again, I was like, yes, this is kind of like a.
Well, listen, I think, ultimately what we try to do offensively is take what's there. And if someone's packing the box, we're going to throw 10 times in a row if it's there. Likewise, if somebody is outside of the box and just, have low numbers in the box, we're going to run 10 times in a row. We try to mix it up, but mixing it up doesn't mean we're 10 and 10. Might mean we're 12 and 8, one way or the other, or 14 and 7, whatever. Like, we're going to try to do what numbers dictate we do.
Yeah, love it, Coach. Great explanation. See?
You got it.
Teach it to us. I appreciate it. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break here, and we'll be back with the defensive highlights from Springford Norristown.
Welcome to the Rothman Orthopedics Urgent Care and Walk-In Centers. When dealing with pain or injury, our urgent care and walk-in centers are the ideal place to start your care for all of your orthopedic issues. Our team of physician assistants are available to treat patients 8 years of age and older for a variety of orthopedic issues, including sprains, strains, tears, back pain, fractures, and weekend warrior injuries. No appointment is necessary. Don't wait. Start the path to recovery at the Rothman Orthopedics Walk-In Center or Urgent Care.
Welcome back to the Gridiron, sponsored by Patriot Chevrolet. I'm your host, John Brown, with the head coach, Chad Brewbaker. All right, Coach, before we do the defensive highlights here, announcement. Listen, this is your last home game till homecoming. So you had a little run here of home games, and then you're going to make a little run on the road here. So if you want to come out and watch the Rams at home, this is your last opportunity before homecoming, because the Pac game is in the other school division this year.
That is correct.
All right,
correct.
So what do we got? I know big night here for you and your squad here Friday night.
Yeah, so Friday night, senior night. So if you want to see and celebrate the seniors, get there by 6:20. Little ceremony, hugging their mom and dad and giving them flowers and whatnot. It's also inside the program. It's Father's VIP night, which means all the fathers that want to are coming in, having dinner with us, go through our walkthrough. They can write a letter in an envelope, and we give it to the kids over there. So it's a nice little gesture. Dads get to say some nice things to their kids, and hopefully, I guess, nice things to their kids, and celebrate those that are supporting us. It's always a good night.
The guy in charge of putting this together is going to help the PA guy, public address guy, with phonetic spellings and like sayings, how to say all the names and stuff like that. Make sure
the PA guy should already know that from the roster. So.
Well, the roster I don't feel it has like a phonetic thing.
No, but you already know who the kids are.
Oh, okay. Listen, the PA guy, whoever that guy is bound to make mistakes. So once again, everybody relax out there.
I thought earlier in your career you did a really good job of knowing pronunciations.
No, I've always been bad at that pronunciations. I make sure everybody relax. As I said last year on the show, Joe Buck has all week to get ready for his Monday night game. And
so do you.
That's fake news. Last time I'm checking, I'm teaching all these classes all day long, coaching girls golf. Happy I show up at 6 o'clock on Friday night. Or sorry, the guy shows up at 6 o'clock on Friday night to do the public address. Anyway, so defense, you talked about it. You wanted some turnovers, they get it for you.
Got one.
They had some big stops for you. And really their field goal was got to by a couple of penalties.
We gave them 30 yards on penalties.
Right. So you could really say that your defense did a really good job for you. And as you kind of figured out the quarterback situation offense, they were able to keep you in that 0-0 game too.
Yeah. So that's the key. Like I said the week before, we haven't had a turnover in 3 games. We got one interception by Blake Turner on Friday night, which was huge because it was right before halftime and we scored on the next play.
Correct.
So
and then I think you get the ball to start the second half too.
So going in 14-3 because they drove down and scored was a huge advantage rather than it being 7-0 at the time. So. Yeah, we're still working on that. We work on it every day in practice, is like, pulling the ball out and things like that. But overall, our defense tackled very well. I can remember maybe 2 instances where we missed a tackle, but for the most part, we played very well. We have some injuries, so Dalen Palmer is now playing corner for us, and he's done a tremendous job. Actually, like a sophomore, he's not afraid to stick his nose in there and make tackles. And then Victor Vanderzil, another sophomore, is playing defensive end. He was down for a few weeks with a little tweak in his shoulder. But, the rest of the guys are pretty much the same guys, and they have done a very good job overall.
Yeah, we talked about the turf monster in the offense. We'd love to get one of those sack monsters, get some quarterback sacks, get those negative plays.
Well, I tell you what teams are doing, starting with Downingtown East. Well, really even Easton. Teams are, and this is what we want to be too, quarterbacks are getting the ball out of their hands real quickly, and so that's hard to get sacks in that situation. Really, what you prefer in those situations, if they're trying to get the ball out, is knockdowns and quick tackles. We've been getting the quick tackles. I think we got one knockdown on Friday, but people are getting the ball in and out of their hands real quickly, and so it's not great. You're not going to get a great pass rush. You're not going to, even blitzing is not the best idea because the ball's going to be out.
Fast, yeah.
So, but we've done a good job of tackling, which is what you need to do.
Yeah, no, I agree with the idea of tackling. Like the defense really has responded since that Easton game for you. You have to be.
Yeah, and Coach Mick made a good point. Like the other day, Central Bucks West beat Easton. Okay. Souderton beat Central Bucks West. Right?
You beat Souderton.
We beat Souderton. CB South beat Central Bucks West on Friday night on the last play of the game, like a Colorado Hail Mary.
Yep.
So what that tells you by the property of what? What's the math property?
I love math. I don't know.
Transitive property. I think it's transitive property.
Right. Okay, yeah. I'm sure we'll get in the comments on that one. That we're not right there.
We're right in that.
Yeah.
And obviously Easton needs to be an outlier, and it has been in terms of how our defense has played. But guys, we're trying to tell them, like, we're right here. We're right here. So we got to keep getting better offensively. We played, one thing that we didn't talk about so far, we played nearly flawlessly on special teams. We were great on kickoffs. We were, I think we caught 4 fair catches.
Caught everyone,
which is huge. I think we were 6 of 6 on PATs. Our punt team was, and again, Matt, we forget, right? Matt Zollers was a punter. So Ryan Reevy stepped in on Friday. First time he's ever caught a snap in a varsity game. He's kind of has like a rugby goalie, soccer goalie type.
Kicked on.
Yeah, and we're trying to work with him on that, but he did a nice job. Like,
he's been doing awesome on the kickoffs for you, too. I think he had 2 more touchbacks.
2 more touchbacks. Yeah, he could set a record for touchbacks this year. So there's all kinds of things that we can be really, really good on special teams, guys. We just need to keep doing it the way that we're taught. And if we're good on special teams, man, that helps everything. They're starting on the 20. They didn't start outside the 25 because even if he didn't kick in the end zone, our coverage was very, very good.
Yep.
So they start on the 20. We start on the 35 or 40. We punt. They punt. We're gaining ground on every special teams transaction, yeah, and making all our extra points and doing the right things. That's huge.
Yeah, kicking, once again, it's the missed thing in football. Then we really talks about special teams, especially in high school football, too.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's give the shout out to the special teams there. All right, let's take a look at the defensive highlights from Springford Norristown.
Defensive highlights are sponsored by JC's Catering.
Okay, so they try to run a little screen in there, and this is Nick Garzarella, man. He was all over it. He led the team in tackles on Friday, and quite honestly, he wasn't feeling well. I mean, he had a little fever.
Now, is he like a hybrid safety linebacker?
He's a linebacker.
Just all linebacker for you?
He's our will linebacker, so he's walked out of the box. But, he wasn't feeling great and just, put it in the back of his mind and played a great game. A couple times we had some really nice defensive stands in the run game. They're trying to run trap here, all right? They don't really get a lot of movement, all right? You see Bryce Roberts, we don't want him to do that too often. He runs around the block but makes the play. This was a deep pass. It was well covered. I think Anthony Early knocked it down along with the corner up there, Shane Lewis. Maybe could have gone up and got this pick, but
knock it down. Don't let them catch it.
Is that the same play again?
Yeah. We got a lot there.
This was great. This was 4th and 1, and we stopped them. They tried to run
push. Right,
and didn't get it. So that was our specialty defense that we have on the field there. And I don't know who made the play. It's hard to see in that. I think Bryce Roberts may have made the play, but just a great job. This was nice, too.
It's a good stick.
Yep, good pass defense. Like balls on the money, balls on time, and just right after it, make that play. So that was an awesome job. That was Anthony Early, who's playing very, very well. Very well.
asking a lot again.
I didn't have the interception on that. That's weird.
That's on you, man. That's on you.
Yeah.
But yeah, early, once again, did that early Wildcat for you, I'm sure. And once again, now it's a thing teams have to prepare for when they play you now, like then when they see early in the.
I think people understand this. This isn't revealing anything. Like, we're going to expand that menu for him as games go on. It was kind of a limited menu on Friday night. He did a really nice job with it.
Yeah. Once again, some of these kids, what you're asking for is a lot. Some of these things. A lot of things they got to under their plate, as you would say.
If you want to be good, you got to ask a lot.
There you go. Good stuff. All right, Coach. Norristown in the books. We got next pack opponent coming up here, all right?
Yep.
Make sure you stay tuned to the commercial break and we'll be back to preview the game with Methacton. Welcome back to the Gridiron, sponsored by Patriot Chevrolet. I'm your host, John Brown, with head coach Chad Brewbaker. All right, Coach, Methacton Warriors coming to town here Friday night. They've won 2 in a row. They're kind of building some momentum.
They have won 2 in a row.
2 in a row, building some momentum. New coach over there. I'm sure they have a lot of new things a part of their program. And you look at them on the film, and you're like, wow, they got some size up front. They got some skill guys. Like it's a tall task for you guys here Friday night.
Coach Ranieri has been on their staff for a long time, so he's been an assistant under easy the last 3 coaches.
Okay.
So he's been there a long time, and it was finally his turn. Honestly, he could have been a head coach prior to this. Great dude. So, but he
lives in a great neighborhood in the Methacton School District. Great neighborhood, that sort of thing. He lives in our neighborhood. Just keep going with that. Go ahead.
So anyway, so you're right. All the things that you said, you're right about. Offensively, they're varied in what they do. They are big up front, and I think they're physical up front. Against Boyertown, they were extremely physical up front, just mauling guys. And so, it's they're 2-3, we're 2-3. Let's go.
And like you said, they're enthusiastic about what they're doing. They're building life into the program. It's like it's all those little steps there, and now they're starting to see the fruits of their labor.
So you're telling me you have inside info?
I live in the Methacton School District, and maybe the coach lives in said neighborhood. I mean, that sort of thing,
But can you get us inside info?
What's inside? I don't know anything about football. What's the inside information when you don't know anything?
You seem to know it when you're criticizing me.
What do you mean criticizing you? I'm just saying. I was saying.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, let's do the offensive highlights here in Methacton. Here we go.
Upcoming game highlights are sponsored by Tom's Car Wash.
All right, so this is last Friday against Boyertown. And, right there, it seems like a mush, and all of a sudden running back comes out of there, can't catch him, down for about a 50-yard gain, I would say, on that play. Again,
now they give it to the fullback here.
They're good at running trap. And, they get down inside the 5, all right? Quarterback can run a little. We really like the quarterback. I mean, that's a tough throw.
That's a good throw.
That's a tough throw, being chased down, and puts it on the money. And right there, he's up the middle for a touchdown. And right here, they're just running. You're just running fullback or tailback lead, like ISO or off tackle stuff. And they do a nice job. Like I said, I didn't even talk about the quarterback. Like, we really like him as a player. Think that he is just like a gamer type kid, can run, he's not going to throw the ball 50 yards downfield, but he can put the ball on the money to all his receivers.
All right, so it looks like they can run the ball, they can throw the ball, quarterback shifty, a lot of things for your defense to worry about. What are you going to worry about them? What do they offer you defensively?
Well, defensively, they've done a lot of different things. So, they started out the year in a 4-3, and I think that's what they want to be. But they played a 3-4, they played a 4-4, they played different coverages, but I think, I think they want to be a 4-3 quarters team. So we're going to have to be aware of that on Friday if they're switching in and out of different defenses, because that presents different blocking schemes in the run game. And
once again, it's a little odd when you watch Boyertown film because they're a little unique on offense.
Yeah.
I know you have everybody. You have everybody, but once again, when you watch Boyertown, you're trying to do something in particular against Boyertown that might obviously
True.
different than when you play Utah.
True.
Oh,
That
see,
is a good
yeah.
point.
Yeah, give kudos to me on that one right
Good
there.
point.
Let's take a look at Methacton on defense.
Upcoming game highlights are sponsored by Tom's Car Wash.
So Boyertown's not the same old Boyertown, by the way. They're doing different things, but
Okay.
right there, try to run a little counter action with the quarterback. It doesn't work. They try
Dive,
to run
nothing.
trap. That's a trap
To the fullback, though.
to the fullback, correct. Try to throw and get picked. Like Methacton has a lot of interceptions this year, a lot, and some pick sixes. All right, here you go again. Now the quarterback
Tipped.
got tipped there or hit as he tried to throw it, so another interception. But they had 3 interceptions against Boyertown, but they've had interceptions in all their games.
Yeah, this doesn't look like the Boyertown of old. It's new
No.
Boyertown.
But
There's another interception.
Another interception.
But he's throwing in the double covers there.
Yeah, that wasn't. The other ones were more defensive, created interceptions. That one was just thrown
Not
up.
the good
That was
ones.
near the end of the game, I think.
Trying to get some points. All right,
Yeah.
Coach. Well, best of luck to you and the crew Friday night.
Appreciate it.
Make sure that whoever the public address is, you get that information, the script, so they can
I
spend
will
all week
send it to
reading
the
it.
PA announcer in an email in 5 minutes.
Oh, okay, yeah. We'll relay the information to the public address now, so they
Gotcha.
can practice that stuff. But like I said, best of luck to you and the crew, and seniors. Could necessarily be the next to last time they step on the field as a Ram too.
That is true.
So
That's
Yeah.
crazy, isn't it?
yeah, crazy. Like
We
goes
try
by
to
like
tell
that,
them.
right?
We try to tell them.
Goes by like that. All right, like I said, best of luck to you and the crew.
Thank you.
Make sure you tune in next week as we recap the game with Methacton. For the head coach, Chad Brewbaker, I'm John Brennan. See you next time on the Gridiron.